Welcome to Over 50 TV. Welcome. My name is Lou Reyes, and today I'm going to be walking you through 5 of the top job boards for older workers. Now, these sites I think are some of the best places that you can go to find real opportunities. I've looked at a lot of job boards, especially over the years, and I find that there are many of them that are pretty crappy. They sell you or try to sell you some products that you don't need. But I think these job boards, I believe anyway, they're some of the best out there. And I've got 5 for you. And of the 5, the top 3 are listed. I'm going to go with the top 3. And then the bottom 2 really aren't the bottom 2. They're both really good sites, but they're just sites that I'm not as familiar with as I am with the top 3. But they're all good. We've done our research. I can tell you that these are worth your time to watch. Now, I'm also going to include links to these job boards in the description box of the video so that you can check it out for yourself. Now, let me just make sure I got this all up and running here. All right. So what I want to say too, and I think this is kind of important, is that as a person who's been a CEO, I've hired hundreds of people. I've interviewed at least 10 times that many folks. I know this. I know that there's no magic pill for landing a new job. I know it does take time. It does take effort. It takes a well thought out plan. And most of all, I believe it takes perseverance. Now, I say this because I get a lot of letters, a lot of messages, emails rather, from folks out there who watch my videos here on Over 50 TV. And I know there's a lot of frustration, especially with ageism. And I see it. And I see it almost every single day. And I could just go ahead, and I thought about reading some of the messages that I get from folks out there who are just so fed up and frustrated. But I know this, if you're serious about finding work, my thought is visit one or more of these job boards. And I believe that they should become part of your daily routine. Now, I know that if you combine this with networking, and yes, we should all be networking. Maybe some of you don't want to hear that. But if you combine it with networking, I know that you're going to have a stronger you'll be in a stronger position to land that right job. And I can't overstate the value of networking. I'd say this, that at least half of the people at the companies that I've owned, that I've started, at least half of them, and I've hired hundreds of people, at least half were hired through networking. Somebody knew somebody else, and that just helps you. So networking is key. We can all do it. I do it. I have to do it. I do it now. I do it now because I know how important it is to meet other folks. So some of you also, I know that I offer career coaching. If you'd like one-on-one help, just check out the links in the description box. Now, I can only work with a small handful of people every week. If I can't fit you in, if you go there and you don't see any openings, well, then you know what? Let me know. Email me, and I will put you on the waiting list. I hate to do that, but I can only do so much. So there are also, I'm going to say this, there are also some helpful links in the description box below that I think that you'll find enjoyable. There's things that I think can help you also find a good job. So let me go ahead, and I'm going to get into the very first job board here. So let me go ahead and figure that out right here. I'm working by myself today, so that's the excuse here why it's taking me so long to pull it up. So here we go. The first job board is called retirementjobs.com. Now, some of you may have already heard of this one. I don't know, obviously, but I will say this. It's one of the best. It's really one of my favorite job boards. It's very, very easy to work with. It says retirementjobs.com. It's for people who are over 50. You can see it says discover the best jobs for people over 50. And I'm going to highlight that just in case you don't see it. Hopefully that comes up on the screen there. Discover the best jobs for people over 50. It's called Retirement Jobs, but don't let that sway you thinking I've got to be 65 or 63 or whatever to get to go on this page, because it's not true. Retirementjobs.com. Now, I want to point something out to you here. It says, we'll help you beat age bias. Let me get back out of that here. Okay. It says, we'll help you beat age bias. It says, certified age-friendly employers. Now, that's the acronym is CAFE, C-A-F-E. You'll probably see that today. I know without a question you're going to see it on other sites. If you see cafe, they're saying it's certified age friendly. To me, it means something, but I'm not going to hang my hat on it and say, well, I know that they really every company on that job board or on that website wants to hire me because I'm older. But age friendly, yeah, that makes sense to me. That definitely at least gives you some encouragement. Now it says here, advocacy be heard. There's power in our 1 million plus members. So it's a good site. It's well supported. They've got articles, they've got tips, and they also offer one-on-one support. So I'm going to tell you this is a good site. Now let's go down here. Let me go over to the bottom because we're just going to jump right to where you can find a job. And I like this site quite a bit because it says find a job by category. So you can look at the categories that they have here. And it also says browse jobs by state. Now, this is pretty cool. Now, I'm just going to go to California just because I know it's the largest state, I believe. Maybe some people might say Texas, but let's go to California. So I'm going to click on California. And then what it does is it gives me a number of cities that I can choose from. It says jobs for seniors in California by city. Select your city or the closest city to you in order to view the jobs for seniors in that location. Let's just go to the top one. It's Anaheim, obviously there. So Anaheim, it gives you a list of jobs. Now, something that I always look at when I'm talking to somebody, if I'm doing a career coaching session with someone and I tell them to go to a website, one of the first things I say is look at the folks on the website. If the pictures are of all young kids, I'm going to shy away from that. I'm not saying 100% you should, but I know I would shy away. I'm looking for folks who look like me, who are in my age range. So if I'm going to this site of TJX, which is, I believe, TJ Maxx, it says merchandise associate, account executive going down for Century Insurance, Safeway, cake decorator. That might be kind of cool for me. I actually like doing that with my granddaughters. Retail sales consultant. It goes on and on. So you do have sites. You do have jobs on here. This is just a great site to explore. It should be one that you put in your toolkit. If you're serious about finding a job, why not check out retirementjobs.com? Put it on your list. I've got a link in the description box. You can see it yourself. It's retirementjobs.com. So this is actually my favorite site to use or to recommend. So this is number one on my list. I'm going to jump to the next one, which I like, but here's an issue. This is a big issue with this one today anyway. Normally, if I recommend this to someone, you know what? It's pretty cool because it's a nonprofit that links 55 plus folks to government contract roles. So, it's probably temporary, a lot of them temporary positions, but it's still a pretty good gig, right? I mean, if that's what you're looking for. Now, here's what I'm going to say. I tried this. I've been working on this site. I tried it this morning, and it was a glitch, and it wasn't working properly. So it's part of the issue, part of the problem when you're going live. I want to go live with these because I think it's important, just the immediacy of it. But New Solutions is a great site. Discover the power of experience. New Solutions expands opportunities for experienced workers to support government agencies in achieving their mission through our proven exceptional services. Some of you maybe out there might be saying, well, Lou, you know what, but the government, a lot of the cutbacks and stuff like that, reductions in staff. But you know what, there are job opportunities on here. It's worth looking at. So let me just go down. And again, I hopefully won't have a glitch with this thing here, but I'm going to go down here and just show you 46,841 people are positively impacted. It's in 50 states plus DC. They've been around for 28 years. They got 27.8 hours of service, meaning I believe what it means is they've actually had folks who are, that's how many hours people worked with this program. But let me go back up here because I want to get up to show you some stuff here. And again, I'm hoping this will work. It's one of the issues that when you have a live. So let me click on search positions and we are there. Oh, it worked. Perfect. So this worked. It says here, New Solutions jobs, search open positions. Now, what I just recommend you do is just go to one of the blue, it says blue in the dark blue, click on a state. I'm going to click on California just because I've already done that this morning. I know there's a couple gigs there. And it says here, wildlife biology mentor number 2, $55 an hour. That's not bad. obviously. To me, it's not anyway. There's another one, a botany mentor, $55. And then you can go ahead and you can just click on the reference code and use the reference code to find a gig. But there are a number. Let me go back to that map here for you guys. But check out this map. There's some states that have openings. There's some states that don't. Let me just check Alaska to see what's going on there. Let me just check that. Oh, they got one in Skagway, Alaska, Historic Preservation Specialist. I got a good friend of mine who I should tell her about this position. I think she'd like it. Anyways, so yeah, so this is the second one, and I do like it, and I do recommend that you put it, you keep it. It's one of those ones that you get up in the morning, first thing you do is you check some job boards. The first one I recommended at retirementjobs.com, yeah, that's a good one. There's some other good ones here, so this isn't the only one. But I do like this one. You should check it out. Some of it may not be for some of you. It may be, perfect for others. So now let me go to our third one, and that is obviously it's going to be AARP, right? We've got AARP, but it's not number one, but it's definitely a comprehensive job board. I really like it. Let me see here if I got something else here I can show you here with this. I don't know that I can. But let me just say this about the AARP job board. It really is thorough. I mean, it's just got everything you could want. It even says here, which I'm going to point this out to you because this is something to beware, which is why I don't think this is the perfect site, but it's a good site. But let me show you something here. They've got Spotlight Employers. Let me click on this and show you something here. Spotlight Employers for the U.S. Census Bureau. But when you go down and you look at some of the gigs here, what you see is this job was in June, or is in June rather, for 2025, June 9th, 2025. So these aren't current, which is not perfect, but you know what? Hey, June 9th, 2025, it's gone. It's in the past. But you know what? I'd still, in my mind anyway, what I would do is I would still keep this list, because if you're somebody who next year or in a few years you want to work for the government, maybe you work for the Census Bureau. Obviously, they're not going to be doing a census. But again, it's just something you can look at. But it's not perfect. These jobs are in the past. Obviously, but again, there's why this isn't a perfect site, but it still gives you some leads. And at the end of the day, if you're looking for leads and you're looking for jobs that are here now available, I'd recommend AARP's website without a doubt. You just enter in your keyword. I'm going to put in marketing because that's what I like. I'm going to put in my zip code here. I'm going to hit search. And you know what? Look at what pops up. Let me see if I can get this up here. Local sale store marketer for Texas Roadhouse. That's in North Olmsted, Ohio. Then there's another one, LHC Group in Richfield, Ohio. That's not that far from me, I guess. Fairlawn, Ohio isn't so far, but there's a bunch of positions here and different types of jobs and different amounts of compensation. So yeah, you can see it. Now, if you happen to be a nurse practitioner, which I guess if you were, you may not even want to you don't need to look at a site like this, but look at the kind of money you can make. $10,000 sign-on bonus for external candidates. And I don't know if I can highlight that or not. Yeah, there we go. So point being, AARP does offer, it's definitely got a damn good site. And it's one of those sites that I would recommend. So AARP wants to send me an email. I don't really want you to send me an email. I got enough stuff I get from you guys. So now let's go to the next one. It's called this one I really like. Okay. It's called 4-Day Work Week. Now, excuse me, this is a UK-based job board. Hold on one second. This is a UK-based job board. Now, United Kingdom. It offers 4-day work weeks, and it's for the United States, for Canada, Australia, and Europe, and there might be some other countries in there. They do have plenty of jobs in the U.S. if you're U.S.-based. Now, one of the reasons I put this job board up here, is it because I recently, actually yesterday, happened again. I got another person who contacted me who's moving. She's moving into Europe. I think she said she's going to Spain. And she said she wanted to know if she could get some advice from me on a job hunt. She needed to make X amount of dollars. And she said, do I have any ideas? So, you know what? This is just a great site for someone like her who's moving Yeah, she's in Europe and she's moving to Spain and she wanted some help. And I just think, hey, why not check out 4-Day Week? Now, this organization, so you know, I'm going to show you more about it. It advocates for work-life balance. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go down. I think it's at the bottom here. Yeah, right here. So it says browse by category. So 4-day work week. Go down to you know, scroll down here. I'm going to just click on customer support just because I'm going to click on it. And then it gives you a bunch of jobs. And this one here on the top that says here, Creative X, 4 9-hour days. That's 36 hours, obviously. It's remote. It's USA only, but it's remote. The next one, General Manager, Customer Relations. This is for hybrid Sydney and Australia. The next one's a remote worldwide customer care. Then you've got Outskill, a 16-hour AI challenge. I could just go on, but it's worth looking at. Now, let me go back to the categories because I want to show you something else here. I'll go to marketing. I do marketing and sales. That's my background. It's actually how I started my first business. It was just going door to door, knocking on doors. And I'm talking about knocking on business doors. And when those people don't want to see you, you can't even get past the secretary or who's ever at the door half the time. But I did that for a very, very long time. Door-to-door sales, selling advertising for my very first magazine, my first business-to-business magazine. So I'm an old salesperson, maybe a young one. Let's click on sales just because I want to. Broker, manager, partner development manager, and these are all in this one. Partner development's remote USA, account executive, remote USA, and going on and on. There's Australia, there's Canada. It's just a great opportunity. I like this one down here. New business growth manager in hybrid London. 2 more in the UK. So you can see 4-day work week. I got a feeling a lot of you out there haven't heard of this one. And it's not one that I'm super familiar with. As I said in the beginning, I was really upfront with you. I mean, I'm not. But as I look into it more, and as I talk with more folks, and as I network, and as I also do career coaching, it's one of the sites I'll recommend that folks use. In addition to networking, I'm going to keep saying that too. So anyways, this is 4-day work week. Let's get back there. Find a 4-day work week job. I'd put your email in there. Sign up if you're inclined, but get some information. You've got to have a lot of sources. If you're really serious about finding a job, you need to have a bunch of different opportunities that are available to you. And the only way to get those opportunities is to have a number of sources that you can go to. Had another fella contact me. Was it yesterday? Well, last night, I think it was like 2 a.m. I don't know. I forgot where he's at. I think he's in the U.S. But he contacted me, and the email said 2 a.m. in the morning. He was at his tech job, thrown out with 1 week's notice. 1 week, and he's our age, but he's got a 10-year-old child that he's taking care of. It might be a grandchild. I don't know. And he says, Lou, I need to find work right away. And yeah, you got to have those. You got to have opportunities, and you create opportunities by networking. You create opportunities by having the different sites you go to every single morning to find a gig. So this is a good one. I think it's a good one. Check it out yourself. May not be for you, but it might be. Now, I've got one more that I want to show you this morning, one more job board. And then I'll answer, I've got a couple things I want to address here for some of the people, some of my viewers. So let's get to the last one here. This is a pretty cool one, I think. It's called Wave. Now, let me just tell you, I've got to look this up because I forgot how it means. It says, Work at Home Vintage Experts, or WAVE. So Work at Home Vintage Experts, and WAVE is the acronym, and it's remote professional roles for people 50 plus years old in accounting, in insurance, and in health, HR. So those 3, it's a focus. And there are some others matter of fact, I think I'll talk about in future episodes here on Tuesday mornings or Tuesday at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. But Wave, a really cool site. It's specific, obviously, accounting, insurance, and HR. But let me just go down here and just show you a little bit about it, okay? That'll kind of help you out. Now, one thing I want to point out, I'm going to go back to it. Look at the picture. Look at the picture on the home page. And these are folks who are, the first guys I don't know, he's maybe my age, maybe a little older, maybe a little younger. But look at it. You got a third person there's not, obviously not 50, doesn't look it in the picture anyway. But looking at the photos of the folks, that's a huge help and something that I strongly recommend to everybody out there. You're job hunting, you're anxious, you're nervous, you're worried. How am I going to get a position? Well, you need to be the economy of your time. You've got to really be choosy with your time and how much you spend. So looking at a website, immediately you're looking at it going, okay, man, they want me or they don't. And this is one that obviously does, not just by the name. When we talk about, vintage experts. Yeah, so let's keep going here. I don't want to keep rambling on with you there. But this is a pretty cool, I think. It's got some, what we see our testimonials here. I'm not going to play them. Actually, I played a couple of them earlier. I just thought it was pretty cool to listen to the folks talking about it. But it's for specific positions. You put in your, you want to get started, you put in your information. Now, I think you can also, you should be able to upload your resume on this one too, if you want to. But this is really just about looking for jobs. And that's really what I want to talk about today. So I'm going to go back up to the top here. And let's see here. It says company, who we serve, and that's great because it does show you the kinds of folks that they are serving. And again, it says HR professionals. When I first looked at that, I think it was a little bit it wasn't misleading, but it said insurance expert. So when I first saw it, I thought, well, this isn't really, it's only for one smaller category, but it actually does cover more. So it's worth it to me. So anyway, so this is Wave. I think it's a nice place. It's kind of like a clearinghouse. I would describe it. So if you're looking for a job in the area of accounting or insurance or HR, this could be a good job board for you to go to and to find solutions. So yeah, I'm going to look at that. It says vintage contract staffing. Let's check that out for you guys. Hopefully this is working. I don't know what, I've had some issues this morning with apparently with our internet, but anyways, looks like I won't be able to get this one up, but it's worth looking at. I'll put a link in the description box for you to check it out. So, but that's the 5 that I've got for you today. I do believe that these are good, that these are good opportunities for you to look at. I can't stress enough that you need to do this every single day. And I'm going to just go ahead. I want to pull something else up here if I can. This is a viewer comment here. Let me see here. This is just a couple of viewer comments, and I think they're important because I want to, if you would just bear with me here, because it'll help you to understand what my recommendations when I'm talking to somebody. And I get these emails, especially if I'm doing a coaching. This will help you understand how I work, and really some of the advice may pertain to you. This person says, I was relieved to be laid off last month. It really allowed me to settle down mentally and refocus. And I wish I could push this up for you, but I can't, so you could read it yourself, but I'll read it to you. She says, I had been there for almost 20 years and was toxic. Currently, my anxiety is at an all-time high because it's very hard to find something or to even get a response after submitting a resume. Then there's dealing with unemployment, getting state health benefits, etc. I am exhausted. Now, she says what we all feel, what a lot of folks out there tell me they feel. It's hard to find something. It's even hard to get a response after you submit a resume. And then you got to deal with all the crap. The unemployment, which is important, but, you got to go through that process. Then you got to she says, getting state health benefits. And I could see why she's exhausted. And if you're at a job for 20 years and it's a toxic environment, yeah, you want to get out. So I get it. There's a lot of us who are over 50 years old who are in this situation. You're just tired. Here's another one. I'm going to read another one for you. And I won't, do too much of this. I've just got 2 I want to read. 2 more. These are all jobs for people who had great careers. This person responded to when I did a video on remote jobs. I thought it was a good video, offers some really good advice. But this person said, and I understand it, these are all jobs for people who had great careers. What about people who raised their children and then got divorced and did office work, but nothing executive level? I've been out of work for almost a year, and nobody will consider me. And I'm sure it's because of my age. And I responded to her, I don't doubt it's because of your age. I don't doubt it's because of ageism that you're having a difficult time finding a job. But my recommendation to her is, which is what I would recommend to you out there, If you're somebody in a position where you just can't find anything, reskill, reskill. I mean, what choice do you have if you need to be in the workforce and you can't find a job? Reskill, find something that you can do, that you can make some money now, whether it's working at McDonald's or something. I've worked at Target. I mean, my God, I've been crappy jobs, shitty jobs I've had. What are you going to do? But you take the job to make some money today so you can go to school, get the skills, get a better job, have a better day. Now, this person in here, I messaged her and I said, I do career coaching. I will do free career coaching for you. Just send me an email. I mean, I definitely have a lot of empathy, and I started this channel because I have empathy for a lot of the folks out there, because I early on saw what ageism can destroy a family. And my best friend's family was destroyed because his father was let go at 61 because of his age. So I started the channel for that reason. So this person here, contact me. I want to help. I'll do it for free. Whatever I need to do to help you, I will. I can't guarantee anything, but I'll do my best. Here's the last one. 52-year-old woman who is seriously considering nursing. She already has a BS in biology, so can be waived with many prerequisites, I think is what she's saying. Also wanted to work on the clinical side, but not nursing. Wanted to be a physician, two very different areas. However, she says, there are many avenues to pursue as an RN. But she says this, and I put this up for a particular reason. She says, honest truth is nursing, like most, is also a young man's sport. Now, this was a woman, obviously, who said it. She says she's a 52-year-old woman. And I said yes and no. Yes, it's a young person's sport, but it's not always. My sister, who's in her 60s, is a nurse. She actually works in a nursing home, and she works more on the management side. And because of all the experience she has, she flat out told them, I don't lift people. I don't do this. I don't do that. But they wanted her, and they pay her very, very well. So there are jobs out there, gigs out there that could be a young man's sport. But screw that. Find a way for it to be your sport, for your job. The best job that, that you can get is the job where they really want you. And there are folks out there who really do need that experience. So don't let this crap, don't let it hold you back. Honest truth is nursing is a young man's sport. No, not always. Not always. Make it your own. So that's all I got for you. Look in the description box of this video for the links. I don't know if I put them in there yet. I think I forgot to do that. I'm sorry about that. I'm on my own today, so it wasn't something I was able to get to. But I will put them in there so you can check them out. Also, there are some links in there right now that'll help you. There's a career fitter link if you want to do a career aptitude test, a free one. There's also a paid version, free version. Check that out. There's a link in there if you want to make some quick cash, a few bucks, doing some survey stuff. That's in there too. I've got links for my career coaching. I know there are some slots available right now, but you'll have to check it out and see. They usually fill up pretty fast at the beginning of the week anyway. All right. That's all I got for you. I'm glad you tuned in. I will be back next week with some more gigs for you. There's a few of us. There's actually 3 of us that are working on this particular show, this Tuesday show. I also have the one on Friday where we talk a lot about Social Security. I've been heavily involved with Social Security for a long, long time. And as a person who was a newsman, I owned a chain of business-to-business magazines, a weekly newspaper, online businesses. I work with AI. Yeah, I'm very familiar with Social Security. So anyways, that's all I got for you. It's been almost a half an hour. Other than that, my friends, have a great day. Take it easy. See you next week. Hopefully, put us on your calendar for next Tuesday at 11:30. Have a great day, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and click out of this now.